Joyce DeWitt, with her signature charm and comedic timing, became a household name through her portrayal of Janet Wood on the iconic sitcom Three's Company. Alongside John Ritter and Suzanne Somers, DeWitt navigated the comedic intricacies of the show, which revolved around three roommates trying to live harmoniously while constantly finding themselves in compromising and hilarious situations. In this video, we'll tell you some things you probably didn't know about her experience on Three's Company and in life. Join Facts First as we present Joyce DeWitt kept her secret while filming Three's Company. Joyce and Suzanne's relationship. Joyce DeWitt and Suzanne Somers are best known for Janet and Chrissy on Three's Company. Their on-screen chemistry, along with John Ritter's, was a significant factor in the success of the show. But their off-screen relationship experienced both camaraderie and tension. In the early years of the show, DeWitt and Somers enjoyed a positive working relationship. Their characters, along with Ritter's, formed a comedic trio that resonated with audiences. The actresses' rapport on set contributed to the believable friendship portrayed on screen. But as the show progressed, tensions emerged. The primary source of contention was Somers' contract renegotiation in 1980. She wanted a significant salary increase and a percentage of the show's profits, as she was being paid significantly less than her co-star John Ritter. This led to a standoff with the producers. During this period, Somers was often absent from tapings, leading to her scenes being taped separately and reducing her role in the series. This situation strained her relationship with the cast, especially DeWitt and Ritter, though it was said by Somers that this was not her choice, and the producers did it as a punishment for her contract negotiations, as they fired her. After she was fired, she left the show in 1981. After Somers' departure from Three's Company, she and DeWitt had limited contact for several years. Both actresses pursued their respective careers, with Somers branching out into various ventures, including a successful stint in Las Vegas, and DeWitt continuing her acting career in both television and theater. Decades after the end of Three's Company, the two publicly reconciled. In 2012, they appeared together on Somers' web series Breaking Through, where they discussed their past differences and celebrated their time on the show. The reunion was emotional, with both actresses expressing regret over the years of estrangement. Bare legs. Joyce had a distinct personal role during her time on Three's Company. She chose not to show her bare legs. The decision was quite noticeable, especially when contrasted with her co-star Suzanne Somers, whose character, Chrissy Snow, often wore outfits that showcased her legs. DeWitt's decision was rooted in a desire to differentiate her character from Somers' character. While Chrissy was portrayed as the bubbly, somewhat ditzy blonde, Janet was the more grounded and sensible roommate. DeWitt felt that by keeping her legs covered, it would help emphasize these character differences and reduce the potential for the two female leads to be seen as too similar or interchangeable in terms of their on-screen personas. And DeWitt wanted her character to be recognized for her personality and comedic skills rather than physical appearance. Throughout the show, DeWitt remained consistent with this choice. Janet was often seen wearing long skirts, pants, or tights, even in situations where other characters might be in swimwear or shorter outfits. Joyce refused to say one specific line. During the season when Suzanne Somers' contract dispute was happening, and she was essentially banished to filming separately from the rest of the cast, tensions were particularly high on set, and perhaps this led to more bold and assertive behavior all around. One such moment was during the filming of episode 3. In it, Chrissy is mistakenly identified as a prostitute. This is partly because she has a friend who actually is a prostitute, and so, in classic sitcom fashion, it's accidentally understood Chrissy is as well. At the end of the episode, the friend says of Chrissy that she's priceless, aka she could never be purchased for a roll in the hay. And Janet was supposed to say, quote, "and she's going to stay that way." The insinuation was that Janet was asserting Chrissy would never sell her body. But Joyce had major issues with the line. She felt it would be hypocritical for her to say something disparaging about sex work, since she seemed to be totally fine with the fact that Chrissy's friend was a prostitute. So she spent all week in rehearsals saying that she would refuse to say it. John Ritter agreed and even told the producers he'd say the line. But when it came to the shoot day, it was still written in the script as a line for Janet. Joyce was furious. She'd been complaining about it for days and had been more than clear that she wouldn't say the line. A producer asked her to do it once more. Joyce's response, quote, I leaned back in my chair and took the deepest breath. And instead of answering this idiotic question, I said, Mickey, I'll tell you what the deal is with the line. You can come out with a gun during the 5:30 show and hold it to my head, and I still won't say that line for you. Is that clear enough? That's why it took. So clearly Joyce is a woman not afraid to speak her mind. Audition process. Joyce's audition for Three's Company was a standout moment for the show's creators. While many actresses were vying for the role of Janet Wood, DeWitt's portrayal struck the right balance of warmth, humor, and relatability. Her natural chemistry with John Ritter, who had already been cast as Jack Tripper, was evident from her initial screen test with him. This immediate connection and her understanding of the character made her the producer's top choice, and she was one of the first of the main actors to secure her spot on the show. Dance background. Before her foray into television, DeWitt had an extensive background in theater and dance. She trained as a dancer from a young age and even considered pursuing it professionally. This background was subtly incorporated into Three's Company. In several episodes, her dance skills were highlighted, such as when she took ballet lessons or participated in dance-themed events. These moments allowed DeWitt to merge her real-life passion with her on-screen character. Close with Ritter. Off the set, Joyce and John shared a bond that was as strong as their on-screen camaraderie. They often spent time together outside of filming, attending events, and supporting each other's endeavors. Their genuine friendship was a cornerstone of the show's success, as their natural rapport and mutual respect translated into a believable and endearing on-screen relationship. Even after the show ended, DeWitt often spoke fondly of Ritter and their time together. Live audience. Unlike many sitcoms that use a pre-recorded laugh track, Three's Company was filmed in front of a live studio audience, and Joyce DeWitt was particularly fond of this format. She believed that real-time reactions from an audience added a unique energy to the performances. The immediate feedback, the laughter, and even the occasional unexpected responses from the audience kept the actors on their toes, and often infused the scenes with a spontaneous and genuine feel. DeWitt has mentioned in interviews how the live audience's energy was palpable and how it often influenced the cast's performances, making them more dynamic and responses. Hair changes. Fans of Three's Company will have noticed that throughout the show's run, Joyce DeWitt's hairstyles underwent several transformations. From curly to straight, from long to short, her changing hairstyles became a subtle subplot of its own. These changes were not just fashion statements, they were reflective of DeWitt's desire to keep her character fresh and evolving. Each new hairstyle marked a new phase or development in Janet's life. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these behind-the-scenes facts about Joyce DeWitt's time on Three's Company did you find most surprising? Let us know in the comments section below.